made me used to being the outsider and used to being looked at and then having to get to know a lot of people. So I think that all of those things kind of pushed me into working eventually in television, but also in music and dance and performing and all those sorts of things. So
the book also centers a lot on your quite sort of fractious relationship with your father. I mean, how would you describe your relationship with him?
Well, we're a meeting of opposites, my father and I. Obviously, he loves me, but I think he despairs for me because he's a lot older. He's almost 80 years old, and he's first generation American, and he's got this old world religion from Eastern Europe. I mean, he's hardcore Catholic, but he's also just wizard of the wind-up. He's one of these guys that'll walk into the supermarket, read the tag off of the cashier's blazer and address them in an overfamiliar fashion. So, you know, of course I was always dying with embarrassment when I was a kid, and but of course admire that kind of approach as well as sarcastic approach. But on the other hand, he gives the Pope a run for his money. I mean, he is you know, Mr. Bible Batcher. So the fact that I wanted to do performing and singing and dancing in this world that my dad likes to refer to as a bunch of godless ingrates and inverts, you know, that caused him a lot of consternation. And he was always trying to wheel me off to have my back faith healed. You know, I was always having to have a bunch of people praying, laying their hands on me, babbling in tongues. And for a 14-year-old, that's really hard. That's scary. I rejected it. So there was a lot of problems between us.
I mean, at a certain point, I think he didn't actually speak to you for 2 years, and he took exception to what he deemed your sort of unfortunate lifestyle. Did that feel terribly hurtful at that age, you know, to be cut off?
Well, at that age, it actually happened when I was severely adult. I was 31 years old, and my father discovered through a series of bizarre circumstances, it actually came out that that I was actually living with a man without the benefit of marriage. And this is directly opposed to scriptures and what he believes with his Catholic faith. And he punished me for that by not speaking to me for 2 years. Now, it was the most hurtful thing in my life. I thought I'd lost my father forever. And this, in fact, I didn't realize that my father would be such a major character in the book, and it was only sitting down and writing that I realized how much I wanted his love, and I wanted his approval. And at the end, we were able to reach a sort of allowance for each other.
Well, as I said earlier, to British audiences, you are still best known as that zany cookie girl on the Word, and I wondered if that's a source of complete frustration to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, doing the Word was fantastic, and it was an amazing. Oh yeah, it was an amazing break, you know. And I got this job. 5,000 people went up for it. I'd never done television before. It was a complete accident. I got this job, and it was great to do it. And in fact, I left the Word before my contract was up because I was thinking, well, you know, I don't want to be pigeonholed as this kooky, zany American, and you know. For crying out loud, I should have just stayed with the job for the rest of the run, because it is a frustration. And I think I was really happy to have the opportunity to write about my life, because I thought, well, at least people, if they're at all interested, they can see that there's more to me than you know, jumping up and down in an Essex nightclub with an overweight dwarf throwing baby powder on him.
They really like to challenge you on that show, didn't they?
Yes. Don't I know it.
In 1994, you made your first foray into Hollywood, and I wondered if you realized subsequently that a life of sort of limousines and mineral water and personal trainers wasn't for you.
Oh, Mariella, I would have loved a life of limousines, personal trainers, and mineral water. I didn't get that far. That was the whole problem. I went to LA after I'd left the Word, because I thought, well, hey, I'm American, I'll go back there and throw my weight around. No one was interested. I mean, for a start, it's cookie cutter cuteness land. I mean, I felt like I looked like a freak because I wasn't, you know, the size of 2 molecules mashed together. And I did actually get some good auditions. I got to go in for Chicago Hope, I got to go in for Friends, and that was actually quite soul-destroying, because there I am thinking, well, you know, I've got my own brand of appeal, I'm unique, and then I walk into this casting waiting room filled with 100 other people that looked like me. You know, they were all sort of a me-ish type with sort of fluffy, stripy blonde hair and a flowered dress and you know, bright lipstick, and I thought, all right, maybe there's a factory that produces a lot of me's, and I didn't do such a hot job. I mean, on my friend's audition, I had the the producers like checking their watches, and I'm sort of like going through my paces. So no, I failed miserably. I mean, I even tried to get a bikini wax, and I failed at that. I couldn't do any of it.
No, that is failure. I've got to say, I'm sorry with the bikini wax. Look, so far you've been a TV presenter, a writer, a columnist, a dancer, a singer. Where's your heart going to take you next?
Yeah, where is my heart going to take me next? I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I'd love to do more live performing. I mean, I'd love to, for instance, do a West End musical. I'd love to do, because I've really enjoyed. I've been touring with the book, in fact, and just doing readings and things. And I love that kind of response for the audience, because you don't get that in radio or in television. I mean, you get the recognition factor, but I really love communicating with people and getting feedback. So some kind of performance.
Well, good luck with the book, and thank you very much, and I hope you get that musical.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katy Puckrick. Shooting from the Lip is out now. Join me next week when I'll be talking to the main man of Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon, and Bird of a Feather, Leslie Joseph. Don't miss it. Goodbye.